changed in the last 25 years, hasn't it, Tom?
Changed a little bit. Yeah, sure has. Yeah.
Can you believe right here, almost on this spot, is where we decided to get together and have a club?
Well, when you mentioned it, I had to go home and think about it.
Yeah, I guess it was, a week later or so that you, at a ball game, you
The
told me.
next ball game,
Yeah.
whatever that was, either 1 week or 2 weeks later. At first, I didn't think, it was possible. After I thought about it, I thought you had a good idea.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I think we've done well with the club, haven't we? I had asked several of my friends if they would like to help me form a club, and of course none of them did. They all said, well, when you get a club formed, let me know. I'd like to come. Along about that time, I met Tom, and we were at a bandbacker's work detail. Tom, do you recall that?
Very much so. We were working concessions at a football game. I think it's a set of fortunate circumstances that brought this about. Both of us had children in the band, and both of us were woodworkers, and so yes, I remember this conversation. Well, first, we decided the first thing to do was to see if we could find others that were interested. And so we set out on our individual effort to do that. And I contacted Phil Bishop and Larry Apston. Larry was also with the bandbackers, and we were friends through that.
Yeah, I contacted Randy Lee, who lived in Normandy. He was the husband of one of the girls I worked with at the time. And I also contacted Joe Pollock. Joe was the scoutmaster that my son was in with the Scouts at the time. And so that's how I brought the 2 in, and then I believe you and Phil brought the rest of the 7 in.
Well, so that makes 6 of us. So the number 7, I think Larry Abston invited Bill Eubanks. So that made 7, and at that time we decided then it was time to have a meeting to discuss formulating our bylaws and organizing a club.
Actually, I had heard about a club in Chattanooga, and I got a hold of the president's name, and I called and we talked for a long time on the telephone. Also, I found out about a club of Eastman Kodak, and I believe it was in Oak Ridge. Okay. And they are the ones that sent me the minutes and bylaws of their club. I had to give Joe Pollock credit for doing the majority of the bylaws and Constitution.
I remember the debate about what we're going to call ourselves.
Yeah. Well, you brought that up. You're the one that you named us.
Well, we have the band program. It was Tennessee Valley Festival.
Yeah.
And our kids were in the band.
Yeah.
So we wanted to name it a name that was area wide. It wasn't just an area, because we wanted to be not only a general woodworking club, but a general area as well. So we tried to not name it Franklin County or Coffee County.
Aren't you glad we didn't name ourselves the Woodchucks?
Yes.
I agree.
But once we had our Constitution written, our Constitution and bylaws, and a name, we were ready to move on, weren't we?
We sure were.
We spent a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of focus on recruiting, finding people that were interested in woodworking. But as time went on, that became less of a focus because people started joining and coming.
We started calling and expressing interest when they found out.
It sure is.
The folks that were members, and wanted to know more about it. Of course, everybody was welcome to come and become a part of it, so that was no problem getting members.
With the events that we participated, like Old Timey Day and
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of members from those things too.
Yeah.
One thing the First National Show did for us, it gave our members that really didn't have enough crafts to set up their own booth, it gave them a chance to sell stuff that they wanted to, and get a taste of the craft show.
Yeah. The program at the bank evolved in, you know, the old-timey days. I can't remember the difficulty. They did about 3 years, something like that, maybe 4. And they had some difficulties. Maybe just the chamber wanted to.
I remember that was a big deal for us because that was one of the first events that the club really had participated in, and it was a lot of preparation and a big deal.
Yeah, we that was the.
I can remember lining the street with some furniture and lumber and things people made, and
yeah, they moved us. I think we were in front of the old Crouch Pharmacy there about 2 years, and then went down in front of the First Federal Bank once, and up to Prince Drug Store once.
right.
It seemed like we were just spread out there, but we didn't really have a booth.
No.
We were just sort of along the sidewalk. First place we actually put up a tent and have a booth.
You know,
The first tent we put up,
Oh, was it a tent? Was it a lean-to?
was it the one, the rain had so bad, was that the first
I
That
one?
can't remember where that was the first one or not.
No, that wasn't the first one, I don't believe, because we.
No, I think we made our tent the first one. We cut us a bunch of sticks and strung a tarp over it.
Ripping some planks up and
Yeah.
putting one of those blue tarps across the top.
You got any clocks, Jack?
Well, we got very few left. Very few. You wait about 30 minutes and it'll be half price.
No, you're in it.
Oh, I'm in it, huh? I'm the star.
We've had a Christmas party every year for over 25, I think. I don't remember us missing any Christmas party. The first two was hosted by Tom and Susan Church at their home. Back then, we were doing some toys for tots, and we brought all of our toys to Susan's to show them and to brag about them. There was a band, but I can't remember just who all it was. I know Paul Powell was there, but I can't remember who else might have been there in the band. Back then, the fire department would take homemade toys. A couple of years that we went to different people's shops as groups and had a work session. I had a couple in my shop, and we've had some really nice times doing that. Later on, Toys for Tots got to the point where you had to have a commercial toy in a package with all of the safety warnings on them, so we quit doing Toys for Tots at that time. I'm very optimistic about our future. I feel if the interest in woodworking continues in the area and we continue to meet the needs of the woodworkers, our club should do well. I'm very pleased with where our club has come from over the years, but this is just an interim report. There's a lot more to come. I think we have a bright future.
He's right about that humor being good for you. I weighed like 97 pounds before I started telling jokes. I was in the second grade, though. Yeah, this is not a plane, this is a potpourri kit. You roll your own. Huh? Oh, and it comes with this custom case. And there's a little plastic bag down there with a starter in it. Little plastic bag. Starter potpourri kit.